And welcome to this morning's Cobb County meeting with our Solid Waste Management Authority. I'm grateful that you joined us at 8 o'clock this morning for our annual update and report. The first matter of business for this meeting is to approve the minutes of March 9th of 2021. Commissioners, if you could look in your green packet, the minutes are included, and I'll just take some time for us to review that. So commissioners, let me know when you're done reviewing the minutes.
Did you make a motion?
I didn't make a motion yet, just wanted to make sure everybody had opportunity to review. Are we good, commissioners? Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of March 9th, 2021. Is there a second?
Second.
And any discussion? We'll call the question. The motion passes 5-0. The next order of business is to approve the election of officers to the Board of Directors of the Solid Waste Management Authority of 2022. And if you look in the green packet, the list of positions are listed. And they include, for me to serve as chair, for Commissioner Monique Sheffield to serve as vice chair, for our chief financial officer to serve as the secretary treasurer, and for our county clerk to serve as clerk of the authority. May I get a motion to approve the election of officers as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? We'll call the question. The motion passes 5-0. Thank you, commissioners. With that, I'd like to call up Dr. Jenkins, and he will present an update by the Sustainability, Waste, and Beautification Department of the Public Services Agency concerning the operation of the county's privatized facilities and the status of ongoing environmental programs addressing litter and management of solid waste and recycling.
Good morning, Chairwoman, Commissioners, Deputy County Manager. We have a pretty full slate for this morning, so I'll go ahead and get started. First up, we'll have Mike Ellis, who's the Superintendent of Operations for tag grinding, come up and give a presentation. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Mike Ellis. I'm the Operations Manager at Tag Grinding.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just to kind of tell you what got me here to Tag Grinding. I'm a forester have a degree from UGA. One of the owners, Mr. Carey, is also a forester.
Okay.
And we have just a lifelong experience of managing the flow of wood products from different mills and stuff. And Mr. Bird is also one of the partners. He's partners with Mr. Carey on land management. They manage several, maybe 100,000 acres in the southeast. And personally, I have another company in my forestry field. And just to let you know that I just finished yesterday planting 3 million pine trees.
Wow.
So that's my other hat that I wear.
Congratulations on that. That's
Thank you
significant,
much.
3 million.
A lot of it was longleaf pine too, by the way.
What kind of pine?
Longleaf. Yeah, we're trying to restore the southeast back to longleaf, pretty much.
Longleaf, okay.
It's a beautiful pine tree.
Okay.
I'm ready, sir. Okay. Nothing really changed a whole lot on our income. We have spikes with the weather. As you can see, November 2020 still was the highest on record for us. So just really, it averages out between $150,000 to $200,000 a month. And on the next one, sir. Our customer count kind of follows the money. So the highest customer count we had was in November 2020. Wow. That basically was because of the storm that we had. We're still dealing with that a little bit, trying to clean up some of the older material that we got from that storm, because we have customers every day just keeps piling wood on us. The next one. On the revenue did go up for 2021. It went up by $140,000. So that netted 7% more income to the county. And you can look at the customers. The customer count actually fell off by around 4,000. So the reason for that is now we have much, much larger trucks and much bigger trees. I think we're the only people in the county that take the big parts of the tree. There's some other companies that take whole logs, and they take chips for free, but it have to be clean chips. We get the chips with the blocks, and we get huge, just big oak trees, poplar, gum, pine trees every day, just big trucks coming in. So I think that's what changed the income over the customer count. And looking at these markets that we go to, we haul to quite a few power plants and standalone paper mills. We also haul to a mulch plant. That is becoming sort of critical now with the cost of fuel, because I went yesterday, Sunday, I went to Carnesville, Georgia, which is one of our main markets, and just looking at the pilot truck stop, fuel was $5.25 a gallon. Big truck, you may or may not know, only averages about 5 miles to the gallon. So it's hurtful, but we'll make it through it. The next one has to do with the dirt pit. This is really the first full year we had with the dirt pit, beginning in February 2021. And you can see that changes quite a bit depending on the weather. As in September 2021, we only had 98 loads of dirt come to the back. Thank you. So this is a little bit about the value of recycling that we do. As I told you earlier, we ship a lot of wood. 5,255 loads left the Cobb facility, and that equates to about 139,000 tons. And a power plant like Carnesville, they takes 1.2 tons of green waste to make a megawatt of electricity. And that being said, if you follow through with the math, the average home in Georgia uses about 3,300 kilowatt hours. So we can say that we produced enough electricity for 35,000 homes for 1 month. 1 month. That's not a lot, but it's all part of the power plan, and it's good that we are able to recycle that. I think that's about it.
Oh, I think that was great. Please make sure that we get a copy of that presentation. I think some of
Yes,
those
ma'am.
stats you shared were enlightening and something that we can share with our constituents about the array of services we have.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
There's the copies.
Thank you. Chairwoman, at the end of the presentation, or actually I will email, I guess, the entire presentation
That'd be
here
wonderful.
to your office.
Great.
Next up, we have Ms. Brandy Edwards, who is the transfer station manager for GFL Environmental.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think I've seen you guys for several years now, so. Ours is kind of simple. So right now, we're looking at the 2020 numbers compared to the 2021 numbers. You'll see a variety of changes from 2020 to 2021. Ultimately, we were busier in 2020, which is surprising because a lot of places weren't. But because more people were home, it allowed them to clean out, recycle. And we actually did not get to do any events but one. We did one event with Keep Cobb Beautiful in 2020. So the recycling there was a little bit bigger, but in 2021, the numbers were down compared to previous years. There weren't as many people participating in the electronics and stuff like that. If you look at our recycling of the tires, we were up a lot in 2021, and that was a good thing because we were able to work with some of our bigger customers who had found their grading companies, and they had found, illegal tire sites, and they wanted to get rid of them the right way. So we worked hand in hand with them, and we were able to just get our recycling company to work with us, and then we took an influx. We were up 95 tons of tires that we were able to get off of the street. So
Very good. We appreciate that.
That's good.
yeah. So overall, our metal recycling was down. I think people started to realize, okay, well, I can recycle this myself. So, but I think we still had a really good year in 2021. And I feel like 2022, we're headed to do even better when it comes to recycling. We can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is our operational comparison from 2020 to 2021. The numbers in 2021 are down from 2020. That we had the acquisition of the transfer station. We talked about this last year, but so GFL acquired October 30th of 2020. So a lot of the 2020 numbers had some tonnage and revenue from our advanced disposal, which and waste management, and we don't really get any of that anymore. But we were up in 2020. There were also more working days, but we were up. If you look at our average tickets per day or transactions per day, we were at 661, and then we went down to 643, which is not a significant decrease. That's just really the residents who were kind of the ones that I was talking about before, who were home, who were able to recycle, who were able to clean out and work from home during 2020. So overall, I still think after the acquisition, we had a pretty steady year in 2021, and in 2022, we've already started off with a wonderful, we are busy, the residents are flowing in, and this is as busy as it's been in a while. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Oh, well, thank you for sharing.
You're very
And
welcome.
Again, look forward to getting this information
Yes.
electronically, so we
Perfect.
can share
Yes,
this.
Jonathan has all that.
Yes,
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Mr. Will Howard. He is the general manager for West Rock Recycling West.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Again, my name is Will Howard. I'm the general manager for West Rock's facility here in Marietta. You haven't seen me before because today is my 1-year anniversary at West Rock.
Okay, congrats.
Thank you. So speaking a little bit about West Rock, our parent company, if you will, we're a packaging leader. Actually, as for our path to one, we're trying to become the world's best paper and packaging company. We've got about $20 billion in sales per year. We employ 54,000 plus employees globally, all across Asia, pretty much all continents. So if you look at some of the products that we produce, these are some examples, anything from a folding carton or a packaging display. Pizza boxes, we produce, most likely, if you've received a pizza at your house, it was made by West Rock.
So Papa John's is going to,
That's right.
all
That's
right,
right.
help buoy West Rock.
Well, yeah, West Rock, I guess, is going to be buying Papa John's.
Okay.
Just
Their
kidding.
headquarters
That's
is here in Cobb now.
is it next. So this is our facility located right over on County Services, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about what we do at West Rock Recycling. So we have 19 recycling facilities across the United States. We spread out all the way to Anchorage, Alaska, down into Florida, Portland, Louisville, and of course our flagship facility here in Marietta. We employ 500 plus employees across our footprint, and we recycle millions of tons every year into our own West Rock mills. The idea here is that West Rock is a paper company. The recycling arm is here to supply low-cost, high-quality fiber into those mills. So talking a little bit about our community drop-off center, our numbers did drop a little bit for just our community drop in 2021. We believe that this is mainly due to 2020. Everyone was clearing out the house. You heard GFL say it was the same deal. Everyone had the time. Honestly, 2020, people probably wanted to get out of the house. So they came and did the right thing to come and visit the recycling facility here operated by West Rock. So we did drop a little bit. We were off on our county drop-off volume by about 3.5%, but really we're starting to see pretty strong volume coming into that facility, and we'd like to get some more containers, a little bit more space up there, so that we can really start to provide an extra large open drop-off site for the county. The financial impact Cobb County was actually greater, even though we saw a little bit less at our community drop-off. Our payments to the county increased about 5.5%. In calendar year 2020, we made $328,000 in payments to Cobb County, and we hit $345,000, almost $346,000 in 2021. So what goes all into that? We pay a monthly rent at the Cobb County facility, as well as also every ton that comes into the facility and goes out the back door, we're paying a royalty fee to Cobb County. So remember, West Rock's whole goal is to take high quality, low cost fiber into our mills. So we're constantly trying to increase that tonnage going outbound into our own mills. So I would say that our goals are aligned here for increasing tonnage, because every ton that we get, Cobb County gets paid for. We've done a lot of capital investment really over the last 2 years, and it is the first time I'm talking to you. I just barely missed the last meeting, but here's one of them. We spent about $2.7 million retrofitting our fiber QC station. So this is what it used to look like, and this is what it looks like now. We added air separation to the facility, which is state-of-the-art technology, near-infrared scanning, using air jets to optically sort our mixed paper, which improved our quality and also allowed us to increase our throughput, giving us a little bit of extra capacity to, again, take in more tons so that we can pay Cobb County more money. That included our 2D and 3D ballistic separation. So these are big paddles Again, it's a little bit of an older technology, but it's the new gen of these. Came out of Germany. They work very, very well, and it helped us to increase our capture rate to really pull more out of that inbound recycling stream. This was our newest upgrade, the AMP robot. I don't know, is our video going to play? Let's see. This is a 3-axis sorting machine that uses artificial intelligence. It's very similar in the fact that it's identifying objects and picking them off, but this is using artificial intelligence. It's just a photo eye. It's looking at the items that are going underneath it on the conveyor, and it's cataloging it against about 7 billion items, and then figuring out what's the fastest way for it to take those pieces off. Uses air suction and air venturi system. Very, very incredible technology. The absolute state of the art in the recycling industry currently.
Pretty neat. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna ask all of you to come out of the facility because it's something we're very, very proud of, and it's something that you really have to see to believe. The speed of that machine, it's picking about 100 picks per minute, and as you can see, that arm is going very, very fast, 10 to 11 hours a day, every day. It doesn't call in sick. It just is constantly throwing material. So. Very, very impressive. I would ask, we'll be reaching out to you. Please come take the time to come and see the facility, because really we're a unique gem in Cobb County that a lot of people don't know is here. I mean, we've got about a $24 million system if you look in terms of capital outlay, and it really is impressive in what it does. I mean, in looking at we process 10 to 12,000 tons of recyclables every single month. Our recycling markets have changed a little bit over from 2021 to 2022. Our plastics pricing is a little bit depressed currently. As you can see, some of them are down, some of them are up. PET is up, HDs are starting to fall, aluminum is up, steel is up, OCC is up, and all of this means that whenever those prices increase, it helps our business, which means that we can help Cobb County as well. If we look at the Southeast processing fees, this is what they were in 2021 and 2022. These come directly out of the recycling partnership, so it's a third party pulling this information. We are well below these tip fees for recycling. We are currently the lowest in the marketplace, and we do that so that we can, again, bring in additional tonnage, and our goals are aligned in that the more tonnage we bring in, the more dollars outlay to Cobb County.
So are these your fees or what you benchmark against?
These are the fees that we benchmark against.
Okay.
They are not ours. Ours are lower than this.
Okay.
And, excuse me, is this a national average?
This is for the Southeast. So this encompasses, I think, Georgia, Alabama, up to the South Carolina, I think South and North Carolina, and maybe to Virginia. I can't remember where the exact split is, but there's, I think, 8 different regions that the recycling partnership takes and pulls processing fees as an amalgam, and they call us. So our numbers are in this, but we dedicate ourselves to be lowest in the marketplace so that we can pull those tons in.
Are you going to share that in another slide?
What
Your
our fees are?
Mhm.
They vary from processor to processor. Some of this is proprietary. Some of it is based on
Okay.
who has more volume. But we are the lowest in the marketplace.
Okay. We'll take your word for it.
Okay.
That's what you're asking us to do.
Well, we do have. We're always looking at new capital investments. So supplies change and the consumption in the marketplace changes. For us, all of our fiber is internal to our own West Rock mills, specifically Dublin, Georgia, and Stevenson. I did see that TAG actually sends some of their material to our Stevenson, Alabama facility. So we're always looking at ways to improve our quality and improve our capture rate. So we've got several capital projects that are still in the works right now. just to do just that, improve our quality and improve our capture rate. COVID-19 was a labor challenge for us, as it was for, I believe, every business probably in Cobb County. We are currently fully staffed. I can say we made a lot of changes, a lot of positive drivers to increase our labor wages and get people to come on site and work for us. I would say we're looking forward towards the future. We would like to continue to make capital investment and provide employment for this facility, about 45 to 50 people in Cobb County. So. Oh,
Commissioner.
and I do have a handout. I don't know if it's been distributed to you guys. It's got a lot more information in there. Again, it's my first time speaking to you. I would love it if you guys came out to the plant to come and see us to get a little bit more in-depth review. But there's information in this about the history of this contract, where we came from, kind of West Rock as a whole. A lot more than I could go over in my brief spot today.
Yes. Yeah, that technology is pretty impressive. And this comment may not be germane to this conversation, but that side-by-side of the before and after for many could be a Rorschach test when it comes to machinery.
Mm-hmm.
You have people, and then the next page, you don't have any people.
Yes.
Because do you know if those individuals were living in Cobb? Are those jobs moved over to something else? Are they replaced?
Actually, the majority of those jobs, they were temp workers, but the majority of
Okay.
those jobs were, they either left of their own accord during that time, or they're still working today. I mean, our average residential line sorter, they've worked with us for 3-4 years.
Okay.
So that capital upgrade with the Tomras was done about 2 years ago. So most of the people that wanted to stay, they stayed with us. In addition, also speaking towards that, had we not done that upgrade at the time, I don't think we could have continued to operate. I
Right.
mean, we did not have enough linear footage with people arm to arm sorting materials. That robot, that piece of technology does the work of those people at the same time as decreasing the amount of contamination that's in our final product. We went from about a 7% outthrow material, that's trash that's in our end mixed paper product, to about a 1.5%. So again, it fits right within that high quality, low cost supply. In addition, you have to have people to work on those machines, to clean those machines. You have higher paying jobs and technicians that maintain those machines. So
Yeah, it was encouraging when you said as well there were internal moves to deal with
absolutely.
the wages as well. I know it got really competitive during the pandemic.
It did. We had some very, very large increases to our pay structure.
Well, thank you for everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner.
If you can go back to the last slide, just had a question regarding the glass, the third bullet. If you can just explain that a little more, describe what you're attempting to do there.
So single stream glass has and continues to be difficult to recycling. It's whenever the material comes into the facility, you have amber glass, flint glass, which is clear glass, green glass, with the advent of Bud Light Platinum, blue glass, unfortunately. And so all of these materials, when they go across our system, they're broken up into a 2-inch or smaller piece. And so there's a lot of material that gets broken up too small to be captured. There's a lot of material that falls through, such as shredded paper and chicken bones and bottle caps and different materials. The material is just too contaminated to be recycled at that point under current technology. That's one of the things that we're always looking to increase the capture rate. We're currently in talks and looking at companies that have the ability to recycle these materials. So as we said, we're always looking to capture more materials out of our inbound material stream. But right now, due to recycling technology, this is not a West Rock problem, it's an industry-wide problem.
Gotcha, thanks.
But I will say, we do recycle glass. Our Cobb County drop-off site, we have glass where the public brings in their bottles, and we
And
take
sort-
that material
yeah.
every single day. So
Yeah.
if it's taken out of single stream
Mm-hmm.
and it's source hand delivered, it's a lot cleaner of a material, and we take that material to strategic materials down in College Park.
Right, okay. And the other question is on page 4, 33,000 community drop-off tons rebate. Can you explain what that is? It's on the booklet. It may not be corresponding to the
Gotcha.
presentation.
How much time I got?
I was gonna say, it is in the presentation too.
I believe our community drop-off tons rebate is based on market pricing. So as you saw, some of those materials, the price goes up, some of them have gone down. That we take an average of those materials. If it's single stream, we break it out by what the composition is and multiply it by those prices. And I think the county receives 50%. Is that correct? Hey, look, I nailed it. But yes, so that's where that payment comes from. It's the average material value. We give 50% of it straight back to Cobb County.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Burrow.
Good morning. A couple years ago, we took glass out of our ordinance for curbside. So are you still getting a lot of glass in the single stream?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
we do.
'cause-
It's not only from Cobb County, though. This is, we receive materials from anywhere around a 45-mile air
okay.
radius, so.
I was
Can't-
just wondering if we need to do more education with the haulers that bring it in to let them know that. And I know the individual bins for glass are at the drop-off are by color, separated.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's not mixed, or shouldn't be.
Yeah, and for us, we would really ask if someone really wants, under our current system, if someone really wants to get glass recycled, please, by all means, come and drop it off at the recycling center at the top of the facility. That's where I put mine, because I know it's gonna end up going to strategic materials and a mixed glass as well as a flint glass, clear glass. But yeah, we can look at the composition of Cobb's material and let you know what percentage glass it is.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope that you'll stick around for the next presentation, as I'm sure there'll be some conversation around drop-off boxes and see how we could potentially work together to address some ongoing issues we've had.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Dr. Chair.
Good segue, because next up will be Kimberly White, who is Division Manager for Sustainability, Waste, and Beautification, and also the Executive Director of Keep Cobb Beautiful Incorporated.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, it's good to see everybody. All right. Okay, so Keep Cobb Beautiful, we are in our 38th year.
Congrats.
I know, right? In 2 more years, you're going to have a huge celebration.
Good.
Okay, our mission and our focus areas. So we focus on litter prevention, beautification, and community greening, and then waste reduction / recycling. We have a few programs that we participate in each year, and all of these programs or projects or initiatives align with our focus areas. So the ones that are kind of on the new side that we have really developed over the last few years just because of the pandemic issues were our senior and adult hybrid sessions. So now we have the ability, we go into the senior services buildings and we have classes, but we also still do hybrid, so people can join virtually if they're more comfortable with that. Of course, we have our virtual sessions and recycling games. That was a lot of fun. We had a recycling bingo game. People won money last year. So we'll, when we do that again, we'll make sure we get all that information out to you guys, and we can get the community members involved in wanting to participate in these kind of outreach initiatives. Okay, go back. Okay, that's okay. So we also do our Dig in the Dirt program, our school gardening, and we'll go a little bit further into detail about that. Our Vista program, that's our Volunteers in Service to America, so we'll go a little bit more in detail about that as well. And of course, I'm going to jump over, of course, our litter index survey. We're going to do a little bit more, I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive into that as well today, but we have some really great news to kind of help us with the litter index survey this summer. So I'm just going to do a little bit of background. Last year we talked about this slide as well, but I want to give a little bit more kind of education in reference to this. So in the U.S., there are about 15 cities and surrounding areas to those cities that have a high concentration of litter. And so we happen to sit in one of those zones here in Georgia. Why is that important? Because there are national statistics that really line up with what we are seeing here locally as well. So nationally, about 75% of people who were surveyed anonymously admitted to littering. So here in Georgia, we did a survey and asked people, we didn't really ask them if they littered, but we did ask them, why do they think people litter? And 8 out of 10 people thought that people littered because it was just easier to do than to hold on to their material in their car until they could get to some place where they could discard it. About 50% of all of the items littered are cigarette butts. So cigarette butts, fast food wrappers, and aluminum cans make up the most littered items. There's about 250 million tons of trash that we dispose of each year, and about 4 days in April, a few years ago, GDOT gathered over 79,000 bags of litter off of our roadsides. That's the equivalent of 12 elephants, the weight, right? So it costs nationally about $11.5 billion to clean litter from roadways and just within our communities. And in Georgia, we spent $16 million to remove litter. And that number is it's going to increase. It's expected to increase by 20% annually, just because of more cars on the road and the cost of material and supplies and labor. There are about 9 billion tons of trash that end up in our oceans. And here in Georgia, our average amount is $43 to $129 per million gallons to clean our water. And the more that our water sources are littered, the more we're going to have to clean it, which means that the cost of just having clean drinking water will rise. And then it's about, they've done some research and some surveys and have found that people will only take about 12 steps holding a piece of trash before, if they don't see a trash can in sight, before it ends up on the ground. So Disney World has done, some really great research in reference to this, and this is the reason why cans are spaced a specific distance there. And within 10 feet of a receptacle, just so you know, litter drops to an occurrence of 12%. But if the receptacles are more than 10 feet away, that litter is it's at a higher rate, so about 20%. So that it jumps significantly when people don't see some place to put that litter immediately. So our litter index survey, every year we ride around the county and we score the county on a couple of different categories. So litter, of course, being the big one. We also do pedestrian safety, curbing, illegal signs, graffiti, and tires. So we're looking to see if this is, if these items are on our roadsides. And this past year, or last summer of 2021, our litter index score for the whole county was 1.71. The litter index score ranges from 1 being the best to 4 being the worst. So the closer that we get to a 2, that means that we have some areas that are being scored at 3 and 4, which are, a lot, it's a large amount of occurrence of litter in those areas. Our best score in recent history was in 2018, where it was 1.58, and then we've continued to increase. 2020 was really tough. For us, it was 1.76. That was the highest it's been in recent history, and we've come down just a little bit to 1.71. But we're still really close to that 2.0 mark. So we really want to bring ourselves back down and get as close as possible to 1.0, where that would be no litter ever found, on the roadsides. So what are we doing? Our litter prevention plan. We've got our Adopt a Mile program. Most people know about this program where we partner with community members and civic associations and churches and just anyone who really wants to come and help volunteer. And we make sure we get them assigned and we provide them with supplies. We also have our plogging events. This is like picking up litter while jogging, but you can walk if you like. You don't have to jog. So those events we do in the springtime, usually during our Great American Cleanup. And actually, I think we have one coming up pretty soon, so we're really excited about that, and we'll talk more about that in a second. And then, of course, our Great Litter Challenge. This is something we did last year, where we asked community members to sign to say, that they support a litter-free Cobb County, and that they got like a little free gift. I think we had some like stickers and magnets that go on people's refrigerators. Our Vista Programs, Volunteers in Service to America. This is a program that lasts about 3 to 5 years. We're in our 3rd year currently. We have some interns that come. They identify areas of food insecurity zones and then plant gardens. We also have an orchard that we planted last year. And then we teach the community members how to take care of those areas, and then they have access to fresh fruits and vegetables for free within walking distance of where they live. And so this program is still going on. We have a lot of gardening education and composting demonstration kind of sessions or lessons in these gardens. So this I'm really excited about. This is the ACCG of Civic Affairs Foundation. We are the recipient of the 2022 GCIP grant. And so what that means is that we will have an intern that will be placed with Keep Cobb Beautiful. And what we're doing is focusing on corridors that cross jurisdictions. So those corridors, the major thoroughfares that cross into other counties that surround us. So that would be Cherokee, Paulding, Douglas, and Fulton. And we're looking to do a deep dive research and survey about why do we see more litter in these areas or in these corridors. This is a partnership that we will have with Keep America Beautiful, and then we will also be able to come up with real, solutions and something that we can do with what we have right now to kind of tackle this issue of litter. So I would, I definitely want to thank HR for helping us with this whole process, and I'm really excited to get this started, and this will happen this summer. We have some sessions. These are some of our virtual and hybrid sessions, our environmental educational lessons and activities. And then, of course, we have things like seasonal gardening classes, just a different range of things that either recycling or gardening or something like that. You guys probably are familiar with this. This is our infographic that we are doing we were doing on a monthly basis, then quarterly. This is for our annuals to show kind of our numbers, where we are, what we've been able to collect. We collected almost 3,000 bags of litter cleanup that we did throughout the year. And then, of course, we have some numbers from recycling. These are from our recycling drop spots. I expect these numbers to decrease next year just because some of the drop spots have been removed. And then, of course, we have our hefty energy bag numbers where we have collected over 70,000 of those bags. And that's the program where we're able to take in hard to recycle plastics, and we're able to turn them into valuable resources. Our nonprofit update, so we have an awesome board of directors, and Barry Krebs is our board chair. I've been trying to get him to be our board chair for years, and I finally won that battle, so that's good news. And we also have a few people that I know you guys recognize that are from your respective districts. And so our board members, they, are, they're awesome, and they help us out and work with us at events and come up with plenty of solutions when we're brainstorming on how we're going to move forward with environmental and sustainability measures in Cobb County. So these are some of our numbers from our events that we did last year. So we actually increased for our Bring One for the Chipper. Last year we had a little over 11,000 trees that we collected. This year we collected over 13,000 trees, so that's really good news. And all of those trees are mulched. And I want to thank Tag Grinding as well. They helped us with some of these trees. So the trees are mulched, and then they're given, it's given back out to the community for gardens or even like fish habitat. We had about 200 seedlings that we distributed, and then 124 volunteers. Our medication disposal days, we collected over 1,800 pounds of medication and pharmaceutical waste. Okay, our community recycling event, this past year, we had a couple of events. We collected over 92,000 pounds of paper that we shredded. We also collected some metals in electronics. So for the metals, almost about 22 tons. For electronics, about 14 and a half tons. Our hefty energy bag material that we collected at our recycling events was 741 pounds. We had about 206 volunteers and had almost 2,400 cars attend our event. For our HHW, household hazardous waste, this is where we collect paint, household chemicals, batteries, light bulbs, things of that nature. We collected over 105,000 pounds of material at our previous HHW. So we have our Cobb Trees program and our Georgia Arbor Day. We planted about 250 trees or plants at either community locations or at our schools. And then our Digging of Dirt program, we're in our 10th year for this. This is an awesome program at our schools. And we had about 5 schools participate this year and spent a little over $3,000 helping those schools get gardens up and going. Our Adopt a Mile numbers. So in 2021, we had about 866 volunteers. This includes all the volunteers that make up the Adopt a Mile groups. And we had over 8,000 volunteer hours. So each of these groups go out and they participate and they clean up at least once per quarter, but some people do it much more often. And we had about, 687,000 pounds of litter collected during our Adopt a Mile cleanups. There are 213 and a half miles that are adopted that we clean. And our numbers have gone down drastically, as you see in 2021. We're losing some of our long-time Adopt a Mile members. We're continuously adding members, but we're losing members faster than we've been able to add. So you can see in 2019 we had 142, 2021 43, but now in 2021 we had 122 Adopt a Mile groups. Our Hefty Energy Bag program, this I'm really, I'm really excited about everything recycling and environmental. However, the Hefty Energy Bag program, we're in phase 3. We are expanding this to cities, bringing on additional haulers, and we have increased our retail. So these bags were available only in Kroger, but now they're available in Target as well. You could go online and purchase them, and they can be sent to your home. We're collecting hard to recycle plastics. So in the previous slide, from West Rock, you saw like plastics 3 through 7. Those are the challenging plastics. Those are the type of plastics that are collected in this program. We're able to turn those plastics into either diesel fuel, oil, wax, plastic lumber, block aggregate, which we have some of the blocks here in Cobb County that we made from those recycled plastics, and then a hydroblock system. So this is something new that goes into waterways, water systems underneath the ground. It's non-permeable, so the water can flow through. Our recycling locations, so our drop spots, currently we have 3, really 2 that, for the county, which is in District 1 in Ackworth, and then District 4 on Austell Road. And then West Rock Recycling actually has a facility where people can drop off recycled material at 1775. I thank Will for talking a little bit about that, about needing to expand this area or location so that it is conducive to traffic flow, so that we can get more cars in and through in order to be able to drop off more material. These are some of our upcoming events. There are a lot of classes and sessions, and we have an orchard planning day. But most notable that I highlighted is what most people usually think about when it comes down to springtime with Keep Cobb Beautiful is our community recycling event. So both our community recycling event and our medication disposal event will take place at the same time, same day, on April 30th over at the Civic Center. So everyone will receive the flyers and information so you can put in your newsletters and let people know about these upcoming events. Our cost benefit analysis. So every year we are required to do this with Keep America Beautiful. Keep Cobb Beautiful staff and our team members are specially trained by Keep America Beautiful every year to provide litter prevention strategies and recycling programs within the respective areas that fall under our jurisdiction. And so we have a total number of volunteers with all of our Adopt a Mile, all of our recycling, gardening programs at the schools. There are over 6,000 volunteers. We had a total benefit of a little over $1.2 million. So our cost benefit analysis is that for every $1 that the county invests in Keep Cobb Beautiful, we're able to turn that back around in a benefit of $25.43. So this is innovating into the future. What we're looking at, this is the slide we used last year. Of some things that we wanted to see occur in this past year. So the things in yellow, the things in green, we were able to achieve. That's the Adopt a Green Spot program with the gardens and the orchard. And then also increased beautification and environmental efforts in Cobb County. The lines highlighted in yellow are things that I think that we have a pretty easy path to getting to. We weren't able to accomplish them, but the Mini Charm Center, I think we have a pretty easy path to get to that. The targeted recycling programming in Cobb County by focusing on additional recycling drop-offs or increasing that opportunity. And then big belly containers for high pedestrian areas. These are the containers where people can put garbage or recycling, and then it communicates back, with us to let us know when it's more than half full. The 2 that are in red, we were not able to accomplish this past year, which was the glass recycling drop spot, the Gumpsters containers, and then also the county facility recycling program. But I'm sure I have, plenty of support that we can get everybody recycling in county buildings, and I'm sure that we could do glass recycling as well. Just side note, glass is highly recyclable. It is the only thing that can be recycled an infinite amount of times. It never loses its integrity, but it cannot be mixed with curbside regular recycling. It contaminates single-stream recycling, and single-stream recycling contaminates it, so it must be separate. But we have 4 fiberglass plants in Georgia and a couple of bottling plants here, so we have a great industry for glass to be recycled. Just need to collect it separate and keep it clean. And the ones at the bottom, I would like to see us, kind of thinking about and going forward into the future and, the near future if possible. So increase access to recycling countywide. Overall presence of litter decreased by 50% by 2025. Cobb County strategic sustainability plan in place to make us more resilient going forward into the future, and then recognition of county sustainability heroes. So we have some really great conversations with some of the commissioners that have some super great ideas about recognizing people in Cobb County that are kind of trailblazers and helping us get to that next stage where we need to be. Okay, any questions?
Thank you for your presentation. For those who've walked in and saw this meeting in progress. We have an annual meeting to address solid waste here, and that is what you are catching possibly the tail end of, because I know there's going to be some questions, and commissioners, I am going to have us take a break for 15 minutes between this meeting and our next meeting. But thank you for the presentation. I'm sure commissioners have questions. I know I have a couple, but I'll defer to commissioners first. Yes, Commissioner Burrow.
No questions for this fine lady, but
Oh,
just comments. As always, great job. And I can attest to the fact of the cigarette butts being the majority of what's being littered with the Adopt a Mile programs that I'm involved with. So it's a shame, but it is real. So we're looking forward to another award-winning year from Keep Cobb Beautiful. Thanks for all you do, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Any other commissioners?
I will just add, I want to thank you and your team publicly for working with Deidre and I in organizing our annual District 4 litter pickup, so thank you for that.
Absolutely. We're super excited about it.
Good.
And congratulations for getting the Green Communities Award from the Atlanta Regional Commission. We're the second county in the metro area to have achieved that status, and I know it was for your efforts and a number of efforts of staff members across the organization. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I really thank you so much for bringing that up. I forgot to say that in all the stuff I was saying, but it is an awesome, opportunity for Cobb County, and it was pretty difficult to get, but we did it and we pushed through. And I'm so proud of Cobb County for being able to be recognized as one of the platinum green communities for the ARC. And so I just kind of want to say thank you to all the departments that helped, that water and parks and DOT and fleet and property and ComDef. So thank you to all of them.
Very good. I know you talked about some things you'd like to see in the future, and I know that we at least have one commissioner who's very passionate about this topic, and so I've asked if she can work with you in hoping to move that forward. Any other commissioners, you know how our rules are, but there's room for one more. If somebody wants to help push this forward, I think we have such a unique opportunity to help reduce our environmental impact internal to the county government, but also in our community.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's one thing, and this would take a long time to discuss, but because West Rock is here, I did want to address the ongoing challenges that we've had with drop boxes. And even though that service has been removed, at least from one of our areas, there's still an ongoing community interest to have that localized. And I don't know if there's been some conversation with West Rock or if there's some considerations going on internally for us to be able to provide that service, because it helps us to get to where you see us going, which is to provide more localized access.
So I do think that there is a possible path forward. I think that path forward directly can be linked to the recycling drop area that is located next to West Rock. It is a perfect kind of marriage between being able to get cars in and out in a conducive manner, and then also with it being right there with West Rock. And to be honest, I think we can even envision this being our mini charm center setup, where we could take material. We could talk about this later, but we will need, support and help to get this going. Because right now, there's the way that it's set up, we can only take a few, we can only place like a few containers there. And so it's not really an easy way for traffic flow.
Yeah. Because this is an ongoing issue, I would ask for you to have some conversation with commissioners sooner than later, because we're in the midst of putting together next year's budget. And if this does have budgetary impact, this is something that we do need to be mindful of before we put out the budget to the public. Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you, commissioners, for your time this morning. Thank you for all of our presenters who are here today, West Rock, GFL, and also Tag Grinding. Thank you for what you do for us every day. Congratulations to you again for your 3 million trees, and also pine trees particularly. And congratulations for your 1-year anniversary with West Rock. We hope to see you again next year for your 2nd year anniversary. For everyone who's here for our Board of Commissioners meeting, I'm going to ask for you to indulge us for 15 minutes. We've been here since 8 o'clock with the sustainability or solid waste meeting, and we will hopefully get started at about 9:15. Thank you. Our meeting is adjourned.